Welcome everyone to Plant Profits. I am your host, Vern Davis. Plant Profits is brought to you by Produce Global. I am absolutely excited. I have a friend here on the show, Mr. Brad Nattrass. Brad is the CEO of Urban-Gro and chairman of Urban-Gro. And Brad and I have known each other for a couple years, and look, he's got a lot going on. I'm going to give you guys a chance to really kind of understand how a real CEO just transforms the business, and he's been doing it a lot. Brad, welcome.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Man, I tell you, a couple years ago to now, your business is dramatically different. Tell me about that evolution.
It all really started with uplisting to the NASDAQ.
Okay.
And a big, huge financial raise, $62 million. That was February of 21.
Okay.
And that's when my team and I were able to really open our wings and start executing on the vision that we had laid out.
Yeah.
But didn't have the working capital to fulfill that vision. So starting in February that year, we were very, very consistent during the road show. When we were raising money with the investment bank, we had 55 presentations, and I'm really proud of this.
Wow.
We were consistent from there to today, current day, and that is our goal is to be the leading provider of professional services and design build solutions in the global controlled environment ag marketplace, regardless of the crop. Of course, we're born and raised in the cannabis space, but regardless of the crop. And so
and you're true to that mission.
And we're true to that mission. We've remained true to that, even with the latest acquisition.
Yeah.
So we put an M&A plan together to acquire profitable, accretive, synergistic acquisitions of service companies that really fit in with our culture and allowed us to offer more. Offer really comes down to offering value to our clients. And if we have something that can provide value to them, and provide a service that makes them better and more efficient, they're going to engage with us, and we'll fill that demand.
Absolutely. I mean, and just talk about the acquisition. So, Brad and his company, you guys over at Urban-Gro, you're buying some of the highest skilled labor available in the United States economy, right?
We are.
I mean, you're buying architects, designers, engineers. Right, you're buying people who build things, who design things, who think differently, especially differently than a guy like me. So just tell me what that means to what you're trying to do.
It's turned out that the companies that we've acquired were all entrepreneurs, just like me.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur. I built Urban-Gro and sold it to a public entity, more or less, right? Urban-Gro on the NASDAQ. They've done the same thing. And so what I underappreciated at the time, especially in the first acquisition, is they are wired, not tired. They're joining Urban-Gro not to retire.
Right.
They're joining Urban-Gro to be a part of something bigger.
To do what you did when you joined the NASDAQ.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to grow and follow the trajectory and really all of these acquisitions have one thing in common. They're all focused on their clients.
Okay.
And providing an elite, experience. But another piece that we underestimated with that first, you've had Sam Andrus on the show before.
Right.
And Sam was the managing partner of 2WR and MJ12, the architect firms that we acquired first.
Right.
Well, what I did not see at the time, but have been very thankful since, every acquisition that we've made since has been referred by Sam. So he got brought into the company, loves it, loved the culture, and said, hey,
and he wants to make it better every
here's
day.
A world-class engineering firm, here's a world-class design build firm.
I love that.
And so we've acquired these companies. So that's great. No, not a lot of expenses tied to those acquisitions.
Right.
And a lot of really, welcome to our family, hand-holding, because these are individuals that have built a business. They don't want to be pressured.
Right.
They want to be a part of us. And so it's really worked well. We have 150 employees now.
Wow. Yeah. 150 employees now?
It was like 40 when we uplisted.
Exactly. I remember.
Yep.
I definitely remember. Now, so 150 employees. It's just that is just mind-boggling.
And talented, right? Horticulturists,
Exactly.
architects, engineers, construction individuals.
Man, I tell you what. So you're building this thing, but talk about the diversity of the type of work. It's not just CEA. Talk about the diversity of the type of work you're involved in, and that how you're utilizing this diverse group of talented people.
It's really what has propelled Urban-Gro during
Yeah.
a difficult time in the cannabis sector.
Okay.
You know, our sector diversification
Yeah.
is really becoming a very big, large key point of differentiation
Yeah.
on Urban-Gro. So when we acquired these companies, they had contracts in other sectors. So we focus on CEA, which is cannabis and food, and then we focus on non-CEA, which we refer to as commercial, which is industrial, education, and healthcare.
Right.
And so, for example, Emerald Construction Management has worked with a global leading consumer packaged goods beverage company
Yes, they have.
for the last 15 years. And so with this acquisition and the strength of Urban-Gro's balance sheet,
Right.
approximately $19 million cash, no debt,
Right.
we can fund or we can bond numerous projects at the same time and much larger projects. And so that side of the business, profitable contracts, it keeps everyone engaged from a construction standpoint. We're able now to integrate engineering in and architecture in.
Right.
And so those contracts are really giving us strength in a difficult time in the cannabis space. And you know, we are in absolute 100% growth mode. You know, we made some reductions of staff about 6 months ago, but that was mostly tied to, you know, fitting into our new business model.
Exactly.
But we've hired probably 15 more, apart from acquisitions, than the 10 people that unfortunately that we had to reduce at the time. And we have 20 open positions right now. So we are full-on growth mode in the cannabis segment because of this diversification.
Yeah, I think that is so smart. You're taking the technology and the skill set that these talented folks are bringing, and you're acquiring folks that actually have clients that will allow you to diversify immediately in your business model. Now, you just had a Q3 earnings report, right? So tell me about preparing for this report versus some others.
Much better, right? So look, we had seven quarters in a row of positive adjusted EBITDA.
Right.
We're on the NASDAQ. Everything was fantastic. And then what I'll refer to as the cannabis winter hit. And so it was Q2 this year. It was our first negative adjusted EBITDA quarter. We lost about $500,000. That was fine. I can attribute that to investing in Europe, hiring aggressively in Europe. But then it really hit in Q3, and so we felt it was our duty to let the markets know. We pulled our full year guidance. We just guided on the third quarter, which we knew was our trough quarter, but the market didn't know that. And so when we guided, that was our Q2 earnings call, and we guided on Q3. Oh, it's terrible. It's just, and I take it really personal. I feel like I'm letting these people down that believed in me, believed in my team, believed in our company.
Right.
And it was really hard to see that response.
Q2 report?
The Q2 report, because we gave guidance on Q3.
Yeah.
So then what we were able to do on November 10th is show that the guidance we gave for Q3, we actually exceeded.
You outperformed
we beat it.
Yes,
That's
you
right.
did.
So we reduced it, but we beat it.
Right.
But moreover, our backlog grew to $67 million.
Yeah.
And $67 million, that, you know, it depends whether it's equipment or services or design build, and each varies in timeline, but that will be recognized over 3 to 24 months. So that felt so good. Look, you know, you believed in us. We're here.
Right.
We have the backlog. We're going the right way.
How was it received?
Very well. The analysts that cover Urban-Gro, after the earnings calls, we have calls with each of the analysts.
Right.
And they were, because of the trends in the industry, not expecting us to exceed or sign that amount, that
business.
You know, that amount of business.
$67 million in backlog of business.
That's right.
That's a hell of a pipeline.
If you look at the other ancillary cannabis companies, you know, they're, because of the winter and they're selling products, they're selling equipment systems.
Yes.
There's there's nothing that can be done if states are delaying awarding licenses.
That's right.
And all of the macroeconomic pressures right now, you can't force that. You just have to wait. And so for Urban-Gro, every division of the company has been extremely productive and efficient, except equipment sales or equipment integration. So we have a couple dozen projects right now in cannabis segment, architecture, engineering, cultivation design.
Right.
But then when they get to the point where
install the equipment.
Yeah, it's time to purchase the equipment. It's time to choose our design build partner.
Right.
They're stopping because their funding sources need to make sure they have that license first.
Got
so
it.
It's catching too. So we've been busy on the design. It's just the integration of equipment, and the numbers. If you look at the first 9 months of this year, of 22 versus 21, our equipment sales are down 38 million to 30 million, more or less, right? So down about 20%. But if you just look at Q3, down 77%, around 16 million down to 4 million.
Okay.
So that really, I made an emphasis on that. That's the only reason that we had a down quarter, a trough quarter. But now we have a lot of momentum going into Q4. It's going to carry into 23.
Right.
We're aggressively hiring. We're spending money to hire. We're hiring leading search firms so we can acquire strong talent.
Right.
And still looking at executing our M&A strategy as well.
You're still looking.
Absolutely.
You just closed something 2 Mondays ago.
It's our second this year.
Engineering company. Yeah.
It's for a multitude of reasons. If our demand's there, and we know it's coming, then we have to make sure we scale up so we can handle and supply that demand for our clients. Now, the good news is, from a cannabis standpoint, we have all of our employees are engaged right now, fully billed out, and we're aggressively hiring. And that's on the commercial side, cannabis design, and then also healthcare and education. When cannabis recovers, the market, and I expect it to be probably around mid to late Q2. We're going to be ready. We're going to be staffed.
You're going to be staffed.
We're going to have our team ready.
That's right.
And to move very, very fast. And as New Jersey and New York and Maryland and Missouri and even Florida works itself out with new licenses, we're already working with the clients. We'll be ready to.
You'll be ready to go
fast.
No, I think that's great. So the other question I had was, with all of this growth and scaling you're doing, what kind of stress has it put on your talent?
That's a great question, Vern.
Yeah.
So culture is very, very important to me. I spent a decade with the egg giant Cargill, and I took away culture at Cargill. Okay. And so I've tried to build an environment where people feel a part of something larger. When we win, we all win together. Our employees, most all of the employees, have stock options or stock units that vest, and we try and do that every year as well, keep them engaged. So when our stock's going up, it's not just a portion of the company cheering. It's everyone cheering, and so I feel
that's important. That's so important, Brad.
It is, and I can count, probably on one hand, more or less, the people that have left over the last 9 years. So I feel that's working, and it hasn't been easy all the time. So I feel that they're willing to really drive in because they know they're supported at all levels of the company, and they know that we will find relief for that pressure. And hiring JT Archer as EVP Business Ops, that was my move to start relieving that pressure, finding someone who has the skill set and knowledge to set up our company so it's scalable.
That's so important.
The hardest part when you have really talented artists, right? Engineers, architects, construction design artists, horticulturists, is to the most important part is you can't scale one person. And it's so hard, right? Because you have so many brilliant minds working with us, like the Sam Andrus that I told you about.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure we have other people around Sam, so we can go from, 26 million last year to hundreds of millions in years out front. That's not official official guidance or anything, right? No. But we have to make sure we can scale. We're building a company that can operate in our two segments globally.
Right.
And so it becomes about the initiative and the vision, moreover, than one individual.
So, and it becomes much more difficult when you're acquiring, right? You're bolting on these engineering and architecture and design firms, and they all have their culture.
Yeah.
And then you got to somehow make it Urban-Gro. So how are you dealing with that?
So we're very fortunate that each of these groups that we've acquired are entrepreneur-led organizations, right? So they have that fire. They want to be great. They want to be better. However, we are hiring a vice president of growth, growth, integration, and culture. It's an individual that we haven't hired yet, but we're interviewing, an individual that's worked in other industries with companies similar to Urban-Gro.
That have scaled.
Yeah. And help, whether it's just being in one of our 8 offices every 2, 3, 4 months, right? Communicating the message out, getting feedback on what needs to be better.
Yeah.
Sort of the voice within the company. I'm really excited about this role.
It's what you need, because it's gonna help you transform.
Yeah.
It's gonna help you transform. And what it will do, for sure it will, build a roadmap so it's not an accident. Right? It's you know how to do it. This is something we've done before. This is how we do it. And you bring that, and that becomes part of your culture. And I think that's a very smart move on your part to make that happen. Now,
no matter how much you try, Bert, no matter how much, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's good.
So no matter how much we try to make everyone happy and be proactive, right, and integrate a company, and there's still just 1 or 2 things culturally each time we're like, oh God, how do we not think of that, right? Like Urban-Gro's going with a priority brand strategy, Urban-Gro, right, and even more so reduced to I have it right here.
Oh, I love that. I've been looking at that pen.
Yeah, I'll give you I
didn't see that.
Yeah. But it's even one step UG, right? Not Urban-Gro. So instead of having DVO, Emerald, 2WR, all of these company names.
Right.
We're going to have, eventually, you keep a logo and then you drop it after a year. And then it's just Urban-Gro Architecture, Urban-Gro Engineering.
Right.
And I think
does keeping the name help you transition in the marketplace?
Keeping the name for 1 to 2 years, yes, it does.
I thought it would.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
But if in the long run, the cost savings, as opposed to working with a family of brands, we save about $300,000 per year per company. Don't have to run their own website, their own email, their own social, their own branding campaigns, right?
You got to do
one.
That. Yeah.
You're right. So I'm really excited about that. But it's just all about now communicating inside and marketing internally. It's just as important as communicating and marketing the brand externally as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about MJ Biz, right? 2022 here in Vegas. So you're here. Did you bring other folks with you?
We have approximately 35 here.
35
this year,
So what's the plan? How do you go back, and I know your CFO Dick, how do you go back and you say, Dick, we got to do it again next year the same way?
It's a lot easier after with $67 million of backlog, right?
Yeah.
But this event has been very important to Urban-Gro for, I think this is our 8th consecutive year.
Yeah.
We started at the Rio, just a small little booth. But early stages of the cannabis industry and evolution in the U.S., remember, people they were whispering cannabis. And so these shows were the event where everyone could be themselves.
Right.
You could meet other clients, you could meet potential vendor partners here. And so as it's evolved, this is now sort of like the Super Bowl of the cannabis industry.
It's the biggest cannabis trade show in the world.
It is. Yeah. And we're in Europe right now. It's where the U.S. was 7 years ago. We're going to as many trade shows as we can to meet the people that are whispering cannabis. Right? But in North America, we've focused more on having a bigger presence at the larger shows as opposed to attending 50 shows in a year.
Totally get that. Yeah.
So for us, so from a financial standpoint, we have our booth, and we didn't go crazy this year on the booth. We cut down our booth, save a couple $100,000. I think that's a fiscally responsible move.
And I think that's cool.
Of our C team.
Yeah.
However, we also rented a 1,200 square foot meeting room 5 minutes from our booth. So, and it's packed. So what the goal of this show is during the daylight hours is bring clients in and have architects, engineers, construction management individual, horticulturists, everyone in that room for that 1 or 2 hour meeting. We're saving probably $10,000 to $15,000 a meeting because we're not having to fly all of our employees out to the client.
Yeah, that's great.
So we pack that room. And we have
got meetings
nonstop, and there's a chance for the client to see everyone. So
right.
From Dick, our CFO standpoint, that checks a bunch of boxes. Right. It's like travel expense that we don't
that is interesting. I can see now, and I love MJ Biz, and I love to go see these booths and then to see what's happening in the industry. It's an education, right? And it's great. But I could see if I was running a company how I would definitely have meetings. Because you got a captive audience.
Yep.
You got everybody you want to do business with in one place, right? Or some representative such, right? So I would do that, and then I do that party you do, right?
Yeah, we
do. And celebrate, and then do more business in the party, right? So I can see how your relationship with MJ Biz can change.
Yeah, and that party, that networking event.
Yes, yes.
We'll have 400, 500 people.
I know.
We're co-sponsoring this year. We brought on a vendor partner of ours, Fluence.
Okay.
The LED lighting company. So it's going to be a great event to, it's especially after the pandemic, it's so important to see people face to face.
Yes.
To enjoy a drink together, to enjoy food together, get to know them personally, because people like to do business with people they like.
Absolutely, no doubt.
It is so important. So I love that event for sure. One other piece that I think is important mentioning about the MJ Biz is I have my sales engineers here as well. And those sales engineers are out on the floor looking for new technology, new vendor partners. Because if our clients are going to look at Urban-Gro as that single point of responsibility for their projects, we want to also make sure we're bringing cutting edge technology, anything that can make their operations more efficient, and anything that can just help them get to market quicker.
Yes.
We become a valued partner.
So you want to go from ideation to finished product.
We've started a think team internally focused on energy. And it doesn't really, it's not really on the cannabis side initially today, but Europe right now, just in individual households, their energy bills are up 5x.
Okay.
And food greenhouse production in Europe right now, there's a lot of employees being furloughed, and they're selling those energy contracts because they're making a lot more money selling the energy contracts.
Right.
But there gets that, the price of produce or vegetables gets to a certain point, and the public's just not going to buy them anymore. So it's a serious issue right now. So the more that we can look at how we can help our clients, this is more on the food side. For example, build a vertical farm beside a hospital. Use the waste heat from a facility that's running 24/7 and turn it into energy. Those sort of ideas.
That is terrific.
We've got a great board.
Yeah.
And Sonia Lowe, her background is 2+ decades of CEA, predominantly on the food side, but we've got a lot of brain power. And now we're putting think teams together to help clients more. We have to do everything that we can to ensure, number one, the clients have a phenomenal experience with Urban-Gro each and every time. And number two, I just do not want to build a company where we build something and we're done, right? We need that recurring side. We need to have long-term value for our clients. So that's what we're focused on right now for 2023.
I think that is so well said. Brad, man, I really appreciate you coming and having this chat with us. Absolutely. CEO of Urban-Gro, Brad Nattrass, Chairman of Urban-Gro, Brad Nattrass. I'm Vern Davis. I'm your host of Plant Profits, and Plant Profits is brought to you by Produce Global. You can get Plant Profits anywhere you get your podcasts. Check us out, download us, give us a 5-star. Thank you.